DreamHack Open is brought to you by Corsair, Monster Energy, Esport Management, Windows 10, Omen by HP, and GGBet.
Good evening, Rotterdam, and good evening to the rest of the world, or good morning if you're somewhere like Australia. It is the DreamHack Open in Rotterdam. We're at the Ahoy Arena, and we've just discovered that Avanga are going to be the first of our semi-finalists returning on Sunday. And heroic Aldanes, they're going to have to come back tomorrow and fight for their place in the tournaments. They'll be playing, I believe, in the second best of three of the day, because we've got 4 best of threes tomorrow. But right now, we've got just one more best of one. It's going to be our group winners match, and it's going to be our Finns HAVU, and they're going to be facing off against ForZe. We've got 3 CIS teams here in Rotterdam, but let's take a quick look at Group B. As I said, 3 CIS teams, ForZe and Hard Legion and Avanga. Hard Legion and Avanga are, of course, in Group A. But right now, we're probably fancying the chances of ForZe, given that they 16-1 Dysterian earlier today, Potter.
Yeah, and it's one of those tricky things, right? I mean, HAVU and ForZe, both of these teams playing versus their respective opponents and both having really opposite paths to get to this winners match here. HAVU had to fight tooth and nail versus Crazy to get to where they are, whereas on the other side of things, they just breezed past their first match.
Breeze would be an understatement. Completely destroyed Dysterian, right? And looking at the way they played Inferno, if I'm HAVU, I am not picking that map. I'm not allowing that map through, if you ask me.
And Blair, your cards are kind of all out on the table, because I know you've got 3 reasons why, and it's very biased.
It is a little biased, but I have my reasons for that. And the 3 reasons, of course, would be the 3 reasons why I believe that ForZe are going to take this win very convincingly would be reason number 1, the firepower. Yes, of course, we had HAVU win that game earlier today against Crazy, but if you look at the firepower, they have especially players like Z-Power, the way Flit was playing today, I think they just, man for man, are better than HAVU. They're more tested as well. The second reason with the map pool, it's a best of one. It's going to come down to kind of this middle of the pack maps, right? Maps where neither the 2 teams are that very comfortable on. And when it comes to a map like maybe a Trainer, Inferno, or a Nuke, I'm going to give the edge, obviously, to the boys over from ForZe. And finally, unpredictable CS. ForZe are a team who can play really good Counter-Strike, at the same time they can play some very random, crazy stuff, which can kind of catch a team like HAVU, who are going to be relying a lot on prep work off guard. And I think that is going to be the winning factor, so to speak, for ForZe.
Now, I am very curious to get into the veto. So quick that I say so quick, I'm throwing to it quite quickly, because we were having a discussion during the break, as we always do, and Potter, you were talking about how much you love ForZe's nuke and how you really want to see it.
Yeah, you know, I think ForZe have a really spectacular nuke, actually. Their approach on that T side coming in, as you mentioned, that unpredictability, coming in with just no fear, and I think that really bodes well for especially ForZe's side of things, because they have players to really back up the aggression coming out of Face Crack, back up the aggression coming out of his XC Power. So I really like the nuke. I don't think, however, it's going to get to nuke. I think HAVU, if they've done their research, they're going to go ahead and veto that out. HAVU, they're going to have to veto quite a few maps, actually. They're probably going to veto that Mirage, probably going to veto nuke, as I mentioned, and Overpass.
And Inferno? You want to play Inferno then against ForZe? That's the thing.
Yeah, I mean, ForZe had a really good showing, but if I'm HAVU, yeah, I'm very much willing to play that Inferno.
We do have the vetoes coming out. Mirage and Vertigo getting banned. That's expected, right? Yeah. HAVU always go for the Mirage ban, and Vertigo is perma-ban coming in from these guys. I'm expecting Overpass and Dust 2 to be the next ones. Dust 2 does go out. Obviously, ForZe not really looking to challenge HAVU, because they did put up a pretty good showing on Dust 2. The Inferno ban's a little surprising. I would have expected HAVU to probably go for a 3rd ban on that. They went for the early ban. They're scared at the way ForZe played, and it is going to be nuke. There we go, Potter.
I love it.
What you wanted.
I love it. I don't love it so much for HAVU. As you mentioned, the firepower coming out from the ForZe side of things, it might become a little too overwhelming, but I love it. I love nuke.
Listen, I shouldn't probably talk about Ents and HAVU in the same breath too much, although some of these players have played with some of those Ents players in the past. It's the Finnish scene, right? But Ents fantastic nuke. Or at least they used to have a fantastic nuke, then they had a bit of a change and now they're working on it. But do we think that HAVU are going to have something? Because surely if they take the fight outside, we've seen earlier today Hoodie, we've seen especially Doto really show up. So surely actually they might be able to test them.
I think you're absolutely right. I mean, they should be able to test them. We mentioned it earlier, looking at the statistics, these HAVU side of things, they love their utility. They know exactly how to use each other, set each other up for success with those flashbangs. There wasn't another single team that I saw in their matches today have quite as many flash assists as I saw coming out of that HAVU side. And of course, when we're talking about HAVU, we have to mention the Hoodie and Dodo, their synergy. I mean, these two players almost single-handedly together carried HAVU through in that crazy matchup today, and their synergy, it was really impressive.
It was impressive, and the crazy thing is their star fragger is Zori. He's the guy who's supposed to be showing up, and he did his job, mind you, but just those two just stole the show. But here's the thing. They played against Crazy, who, in my opinion, on that Duster CD side, they were a little too predictable. They didn't have that much of adaptability. Once they realized that their short control was non-existent, it got abused time and time again by these guys. Against ForZe, it's going to be a whole different ballgame altogether. It's going to be unpredictable. It's going to be aggressive. It's going to be in-your-face Counter-Strike. And are they ready for that is the question.
I definitely have to agree with you, and we have to remember HAVU had to claw their way back into that game. They were down such a deficit, and somehow, some way, they were able to bring each other together and use that synergy to be able to get back on the board and get back in the game. But versus ForZe, you're absolutely right. It's going to be so much more challenging to get yourself back into that matchup.
And ForZe, earlier today, we saw Flit and we saw Almaza really showing up in a way that we don't necessarily used to seeing them do, while HAVU, I mean, they're playing with their former coach. He was on the lineup. He then left the active lineup, coached him for a couple of months. Now he's come back. In the first half of Duster, and he had 1 kill. So I'm slightly concerned that actually HAVU are going to need all of their players to truly show up if they're going to take down ForZe, because ForZe, their synergy is there, and obviously they're all able to hit those shots back.
Absolutely, and I think the one guy we can see on the left-hand corner is looking at something there, Z-Power, right? If he is allowed to do whatever he wants with an AWP, it's going to be a pain. He's a player who's not going to be he's going to be playing based on spawn. He's going to try and catch you off guard. He's the sort of player who's going to be walking in through HUD on the CD side, just walking towards T lobby and taking that opening pick, trying to get that opening shot, right? And that's something, if you allow that to happen and he just gets that confidence going for him, it's going to be quite painful indeed.
Absolutely. The mechanics coming out of XP Power is super impressive to watch, but I'm keeping my eye on Face Crack. I remember Nuke specifically. For Face Crack and the ForZe side of things, that MAC-10, busting out that MAC-10, going for those upper rushes, he likes to quickly B-hop onto the silo, get onto the connector roof, and just plow through the connector up in that upper bomb site. And he even had an ace with that MAC-10 in their most recent nuke matchup. So they definitely utilize their aggression very well. And as I mentioned, Jerry, Flit, Almazar, they're able to really rally behind this aggression and capitalize off of it.
I want to also touch upon the fact, I think we had the interview, I forgot with whom it was, from HAVU's side. They were like, our CD side and Dust 2 was what's our strong point. On a nuke, traditionally it is a CD sided map still, even though now we have more teams winning T rounds, right? And it's going to be really tested by ForZe, like you mentioned, Potter. I've seen them play so many games in Nuke where they don't have that many games, but the few ones we've seen have been very impressive because they will always kind of like catch you off guard, so to speak. And if you give them space to work with, your CD side is going to be really, really rough.
And Slowey, I had a little chat to him after the match later because we obviously interviewed him. He then spoke to me afterwards, and it turned out that was his first interview in English, which kind of reminded me of the fact that this is the biggest LAN they've played, really.
It's the only LAN they've played as a unit, as this 5-man unit. It's their first LAN ever, which is something.
Yeah, and they really showed up, and they had, even though it looked like they had a slow start, they were very intelligent with that start on Dust 2 economically, as you pointed out, Potter. But right now, let's go to a head-to-head, because Potter, you want to highlight a couple of players for us.
Yes, exactly. So in this head-to-head, I've got on the ForZe side of things, I've got Flit right there. And Flit, he's a member, when you have XP Power, Jerry, Face Crack, these personalities on the team, he does kind of get pushed to the side slightly, but definitely not in the server. This man is probably usually the third man in, and he definitely is able to follow up. And if I'm Flit, I love the fact that I have a Face Crack and XP Power as my mates, because I'm able to really get in there and capitalize off their aggression. And on the other side of things, Hoodie. We mentioned Hoodie. He was the highest fragger on the HAVU side, and he's got Dodo on his side of things, so he's definitely going to have to be able to utilize him to get the frags on his side.
Absolutely, and I think you picked the right player as well for Hoodie. I think it's going to be we don't know much about HAVU, let's be very honest, right? And if you look at just the pure stats, we have Zori, who's a standout player, and everyone else are like, middle of the pack. But with the game that Hoodie had and his other teammates had on that Dust 2 game, it's a good sign that, you know what, man for man, they might potentially be able to go toe-to-toe against the boys from ForZe.
Well, I want to put you guys toe-to-toe now because I'm really keen to find out your predictions for this. I'm also really curious to find out the results of the Twitch chat vote because the Russian fans and, of course, the Finnish fans, you know, see, the Counter-Strike is huge in these regions. And I love to see them battle it out, but right now I need you two to battle it out. So, Potter, I'm going to come to you first with your prediction, please.
I think I have to agree with Sudan's 3 reasons why. I'm gonna have to go for ForZe here, but I do think HAVU is gonna make this one competitive.
Yeah, it should be pretty close, right? Nuke is a game which really does support a structured, like, you know, slow plays, well-organized team. And from what I saw in Dust 2, they seem to have a game plan, and the fact that they've allowed Nuke through means they do have a game plan. But, like I said, I gave my 3 reasons, and ForZe should still have this in the bag comfortably.
They are structured, they are wild, and we love to see them here at the DreamHack Open. So I am going to say ForZe, but I also think that HAVU are going to put up a fight, and I was really impressed with what I saw earlier, especially in that second half. But let's find out what Twitch chat is saying. Are you going to impress me much?
A lot of Finnish fans are awake at the moment.
Yeah,
I love it.
Twitch chat, what do you think of Alexi B's hair? I just want to set them off on one. That's what I'm always asked when I'm on Twitch chat. It's just like, oh, so what do you think of Alexi B's hair? In fact, Vincent Dust, what do you think of Alexi B's hair? I know he's not here, but might as well ask.
I wish I had her.
There we go, there we go.
I think that's like really the best way you could have used that, yeah.
Vince,
there's no topping that.
Real shortly, before we let you guys get into the game, I do really want to ask you what you think of ForZe, because earlier you were just like, now I just want to set up the context. Sorry, not Vince, sorry, Dust. The context for people at home. Dust is like, he's got spreadsheets, he's got so much information, he's always got something to say about all these teams, and like Dust is just like, I can't describe how they play. He was in a bit of a tizzy, weren't you, Dust?
Yeah, it's just madness. Like I think chaos is like kind of the best way to describe ForZe. Like they're just so wild and like it's hard to find a pattern. I think that's what makes them like so explosive and so hard to play against. And why they get so many upsets is like they're just a handful.
Well, maybe it'll be hard for them. Maybe it'll be explosive. Maybe it'll be both. Let's find out, gentlemen. Let's go on to Nuke.
Thanks a lot, Frankie. So yes, we do have the brave Finns who put up a huge amount of a fight earlier today, turned a lot of heads, I think gained a lot of fans as well. And Slowy talked about this as well. They were very nervous at the start. So I'm curious if now they've had a bit more time to reflect on that first experience, do we see what HAVU fully have up their sleeves?
I mean, here's the thing, like Nuke is kind of in the top of their pool in all their online play. It's kind of next to their Dust 2 and Train is one of their more played maps, and they have a pretty good record on it. But yeah, ForZe definitely a team that has shown us some good stuff on Nuke. Had the win over Navi at Blast Moscow, had the win over Fury at the Starlighter Berlin Major. It's a map that they've been able to use online quite extensively. So definitely they're going to feel very much at home also, and do come in as the slight favorite, I'd have to say. But HAVU's already surprised us once today, so let's not put it out of the question if they could do it here again. Then we start on the CT side. So we are going to see ForZe wasting no time getting into this lobby and nading down the door for an upper rush.
Oh yeah, they want to get right into the action, but be careful what you wish for. Saw and Otto are here. Slowy in the meanwhile, just too many players forcing their way into ramp to deal with. And this should yield the B site. However, the CT's already making moves downstairs themselves. Dotto's here, just watching in case they push down control room. And, well, his patience is going to be proving to be a virtue. Almeza comes back with one of his own. The bomb has been planted in amongst the ruckus, and both the T's have been able to scramble back towards control room, where Almeza is trying to spring another trap. There is no kit in the hands of the CTs for the time being, and Almeza is connecting shots left and right. Zori finally puts him to rest, leaving Flit in a 1-on-2. Beautiful flick to the head of Zori. And now surely this round should be going the way of the T's. Without the kit, it's going to have to be the full 10-second defuse. Flit's going to fake the rotation. Now coming back in again, Zor keeping on the bomb. It's going to be Flit to clutch. The Russians off to winning ways.
Yeah, again, just kind of a fast-paced play there. They go for initial kind of push through Squeaky. It seemed like they wanted to do some type of vent drop with the split through ramp. They did kind of lose out the duel through Squeaky, but still managed to get enough numbers down lower fast enough to get the plant, and they ultimately win in kind of a clutch situation. And now they are going to be up 1-0. A P90 out for FaceCrack. You don't see that weapon too often. It's quite expensive in the SMG category.
I wonder if that was a miss by. He's got
Yeah,
smoke grenades alongside with it. No Mac 10s, you typically want to pick up at least one of those in this sort of a round.
I can't even remember the last time I saw a P90 up in a pro LAN match. Like, it's definitely wild, but it's already off the board. Not going to have much of a chance to do anything.
Yeah,
but it's been recycled.
High amounts of money, not a huge amount of kill reward either. It's, yeah, I have to assume it's a miss buy, but they have picked it back up again, Dust. The P90 lives.
Indeed it does. Slowy here with the auto shotting. Now that is something you will see on Nuke. Usually used on Hut, but Slowy actually going to be using it over towards Radio. Actually a little bit of a boost might be going on here. And he might get up there just in time because there was indeed some pressure towards Radio. They decided to pull off of it. Now looking to go towards lobby. Jerry with the scout outside. So it looks like they want to split upper. Zori just spotting with the Deagle here from Heaven. Not spotting any cross just yet. Definitely some utilities still left here for ForZe to break in through upper. But indeed, with the shotguns, the CZs, it's going to be a little bit of a defense they're going to have to break through. It's not going to be an easy take. And smoke will slow things down, you'd have to imagine. And this boost definitely now might come into play, especially with Dotto kind of being the bait and switch with the scout from Turnpike.
Exactly, and he can soften them up as well. This is where the XM is going to be so very deadly. There's the first, second, and third. The XM shredding. The shells put down range to perfection, and Jerry's scout is all that remains.
Just kind of get shut down on all fronts. You saw ForZe just trying to pick up the pace, go for something upper, then a smoke gets in their face at Squeaky. Then they try to go towards ramp, and again, they just kind of get played into that boost with the shotgun. Jerry might be able to grab this scout at the very least back. So to stop that from being carried over, but still going to be the 1-1 split. So might have a very scrappy beginning to this game, Vince, as both teams fight for economic control. You might see a lot of force buying until someone can win 2 rounds in a row and finally force the other to tap out, and that's exactly going to be the case here. Bunch of P250s, a Deagle, and Almazer, and that scout is going to be in play in XC Power.
And the P90 lives. This time in Zori's hands. Power, however, isn't going to be. Ooh, Almazer running scout headshot onto Zori. The additional movement always going to be a pain in the backside. Live by the sword, potentially die by it. Dotto's been tagged down to just about 50% of his HP. There's a lot of flirtation outside, but not much that's really happened other than a bit of outside control now being established from the T's.
Almazer trying to see if he can't find something with some spam, but nothing's landed the mark. Still the 4-on-4 here. Dotto playing up close with the AUG, hoping to try to catch anyone wrapping towards Mini. But it seems like ForZe content just to kind of take this bomb through the back halls with all 4 of their players. They've left one towards outside of this. That's Scout, but Dotto is going to sniff it out. And now it's probably going to tip him off that it could be a lower push. Can call for the rotation.
Still enough upgraded pistols to make a nuisance of this round 2 for ForZe, with the bomb going down on the safe angle. Face crack, Deagle equipped and is ready to roll some CTs if they push down. Jerry in the meanwhile up close to make the most of this momentary weakness on the ramp. Aggression, oh my goodness, he's turned it round with another headshot. How has that happened?
It's just that fearless play from ForZe. As soon as opportunity presents itself, when he sees that first frag come through, he swings across. Grabs a couple of kills there, picking up that AK-47, carrying it over. Big round from ForZe, just battling their way into lower and just trading their way into victory. And again, it's just going to keep being this scrappy beginning, man. It's been back and forth these last 3 rounds. No one's broken just yet. Keeping the buys flowing are both of these teams. ForZe looking for some outside control. They certainly have enough smokes through your typical wall to get to the lower stairs, but as of right now, just kind of holding back. Zori does have that AWP in play, so that could be a real big factor. That could be the exact curveball that HAVU need to keep this economic race going.
Could be the kingmaker, but the downside is they're starting to be aggressed on from multiple angles, but Zori is going to hold his nerve, and his resolve is strong. As is the outside control now on the side of the CTs. ForZe still back towards the T-spawn, going to be lining up the outside smokes. The wall be trying to get built up.
Pretty standard stuff here. See this time and time again. We are going to see the jump through. Obviously, Slowy and company know what's going on. They already have two towards these lower halls. Have a bit of a crossfire going on as well between Slowy's Deagle and the UMP on the opposite side. Also have one even towards Vince at this point. But Slowy actually is going to fall back, get onto the rafters here, look to just defend the push through the window. Saul has door. Running out of time is ForZe. They're going to have to break onto this quickly, but there's so many CTs in good position now.
Jerry's on the prowl, on the lurk.
Are they going to jump up Vince?
I think that's the play. Try and get up here. But he runs out of bullets, but he's got teammates to lend him a helping hand. And Jerry's incursion has come to an abrupt end. Yeah, that's exactly what they're looking for, Dust, but they just didn't leave themselves enough time, really.
Is ForZe going to force buy again? That's the real question. Are we going to keep this going? This economic game of chicken still seems to be in play, Vince. Here comes the MAC-10s and upgraded pistols. We knew that ForZe was going to come in a very scrappy team, and they've delivered on that. But I mean, so many AKs picked up by HAVU. They still have the AWP in play. They have such an edge in this round.
Oh, FaceCrack wants to turn up the pace. Saw not going to spot him, MAC-10. Good for one. SMG kills back and forth. Hoodie gets overwhelmed, as does Saw. Are we really going to have another round like this go the way of the weaker team in terms of firepower? It's looking like it could be a reality. AK-47 on Jerry, not able to spin across in time, and Flit's nowhere near to help out, but he does have the bomb.
Yep, he's definitely going to get a plant, it seems, but is he going to be able to hold off the retakes? The question. One of the retakers is an AWP, though. But both CTs do have kits, gives him a bit of extra time. Flit does listen and hear this UMP pushing him, gets in the vents, just waiting to see if it's going to come all the way through. Slowly just biding his time, trying to buy time for his teammate to rotate. Walks right past him, doesn't realize it. Oh my goodness. It's a free kill on the UMP picked up by Flit.
Surprised he didn't wait a bit longer to maybe hear the bomb get tickled down, but maybe just a bit worried. Up there with the P250, he's going to try and make some noise, get Zori off the bomb. Has been successful. Zori goes back in again, gets tagged up. One bullet will seal the deal, and Flit's got it done. And the AWP's going to trade hands. Is the bomb going to deny him? No, he just about lives.
And so it continues, 1 for 1 for 1 the whole way through into round number 6. And we're going to see the CTs force buy right back into it. They're still in the mix. SMGs, a FAMAS, an auto shotgun in play also. Just absolute shenanigans. Again, this is exactly what you expect from a team like ForZe. That time using the smoke wall to kind of sneak into Mini. That was a nice little change up. And Zori here with the opening kill with the Deagle. So this force buying might still keep being successful, Vince.
Yeah, that Deagle kill was in ramp towards the vending machine room. And he backed away afterwards. Saw lots of damage. Actually landed the dink around the corner. So FaceCrack going to think twice about pushing. Are we going to have another force buy being successful?
Definitely seems to be in the cards at this point. A very wild start to this game. Haven't seen a 1 for 1 go on for this long in quite a while, if I'm honest. FaceCrack sneaking all the way into Big Garage here. Catching Dotto, able to upgrade his weapon. Shotgun up close, not going to be good for anything. Zori, though, with this Eagle, has been crucial this round. He gets another, gets it into a 2 versus 2. Still a lot of time left, though. Saul has control of lower. But they could maybe route up through heaven and get this plant.
Oh, that Molotov designed towards hell. Doesn't really make a big deal of difference. Almaze is still able to get the bomb down. Now it's down to Saw. 1 versus 2. Going to be heading towards heaven. UMP's not great at this kind of range. And again, with a lack of a kit. And just one flashbang. He's going to need this first kill to go his way clean. And it's not going to happen. He's been spotted. That should be the round falling with him. So finally, the team force buying is going to succumb to their aggression. Saul may not even be able to hold on to this UMP if he's not careful, because FaceCrack may very well peek through the red container. He could maybe deny the AWP. There's the kill going his way. Done a decent amount of work towards the end of this round. May go back out for seconds, but he has denied the AWP from being picked up. So that is solid work.
Indeed it is. Gets a little bit of extra money out of the UMP as well at the end. So you feel like now this is where things maybe start to get a little bit more stability. Obviously, they're going to have that UMP and armor into this round, so they do have a little bit of something. You do see a CZ and a P250 come out, but nowhere near the force buys we've been seeing in the past. So this might be where ForZe finally start getting some control in this half, but it is going to be a stack. And if they decide to rush upper, there are still some chances, but it is going to be that smoke wall rush outside to lower.
I've seen lower control multiple times now. This time there's not really much of a defense that's been mounted, and it's being caved through. A sledgehammer smashes it down, and B site is ripe for the taking. And ForZe will oblige in kind. It's just 2 pistols remaining. Obviously, as we kind of touched on, Dust, not much of an investment here, really, for HAVU anyway.
No, but the next round's really going to count most. That's when Zori will have his AWP again, the guy that's normally been their frag leader in all of their online competition. It's the guy you want to really come alive to get them back into this game. Hoodie continues to play pretty well. Even Slowy looks a little bit better than he did earlier today, which is a good sign for HAVU. But ForZe, they are the ones out in front.
Dory realizes he may be about to get pinched, but there's 2 of them strong now. CZ, not going to get it done, but Z-Power comes through with 2 P250 crisp frags towards the end.
It's actually his first 2 kills of the game, Vince. 7 rounds in. It's round number 8 now. He will get the AWP. Haven't seen him have that yet on the T side. Now his weapon of choice will be at his disposal, and that could certainly help him really start having more impact. Of course, he hasn't really been required. He's had a lot of effort coming out from his teammates. Quick door explosion for a pick here from XP Power, but the counter utility will force him back, and he won't spot anything. But FaceCrack again doing one of these sneaky mini plays. They've done this once before, and it was very successful. Will it happen again? No, Zori is aware of what's happened.
It's such a smart play as well, but Zori this time was up to the task. He's seen this once before. Already perched on top of the hut. Such a difficult position to deal with when the smoke's down and you have the high ground established. Is it going to be Flick going out to try an entry? Hoodie taking a slight off angle. Typically the player's going to be in the position he's now in. Doesn't have any nades left either. Can't pop flash into a peak. Yet there is the counter.
Yeah, Mali finally gets him off the high ground, gives him a little bit more of an angle, but Zori is there to collect with the AWP. Creating a Jackson Pollock painting there in the corner. Smoke comes in, stopping the T's from pressing forward.
Hoodie has bit on that line and sinker. They were trying to fake him out. It has worked. They're getting more kills. Every frag in the kill feed is going the way of the Russians now, but it may come to an abrupt end at the hands of Slowy. There's the headshot to seal the deal. Almeza had no hope peeking around the corner. And the flank has reaped the reward. 5-3 now.
Such a roller coaster ride of a round. You saw so much success coming out from Almazer with that pick into upper, but then Slowy just catches a great timing through that lobby flank, able to get the 1v2 and get a 3rd round on the board for HAVU. Zori obviously had a lot of impact this round as well at the AWP, gave him a real fighting chance in it all. Back and forth round, it winds up with the Finns. Money vulnerable for both teams at this point, and the score is still very, very close, so this is still really hard to tell who has control of this game thus far.
Yeah, it really is on a razor's edge. As Z-Power going to be making a move outside with the AWP this time. It's typically been Jerry with an AK or an SMG playing up close. A bit of knife of frustration as he was in the wrong place at the wrong time. A HE lands on his head.
Yeah, Z-Power trying to see if he can find any type of picks with AWP, but no one really presenting themselves. Well, he's just kind of spamming, hoping for something to go his way, but no damage being dealt.
He's got the right idea, just the wrong wallbang angle. As it is Dotto, seemingly undeterred by all the bullets whizzing past his head. He's going to stay in position.
A little bit of aggression there from Hoodie over towards Lobby. He's going to pick up a kill and allow him to upgrade his UMP.
Another downstairs push. This time, though, they have been culled on the approach. Zori Split is oh so low. That grenade is going to kill him. He's a dead man. 30 seconds to play with. And a 2v4 deficit faces off against the Russians. They do have a bit of utility on both players and plenty of firepower in the sense of an AWP and an AK. They've been smoked out of Decon. Tries the wall bang. No one's home. Could very well just pull back and try and save these two guns. There's not going to be much for the rest of their team to play with, really.
Yeah, at least holding on to this gives you a little bit of something to work with in the next round, particularly the AWP. But Z-Power, usually kind of the star of this team, has really been silent so far. Hasn't been able to find those op picks. HAVU's done a really great job on average kind of contending against the outside control that ForZe has been trying to throw in. Finally winning a couple of rounds in a row in their own right. Wonder what the adjustment is going to be here from ForZe. Obviously in a round like this, limited resources is going to really dictate their options. A couple of Deagles will come into assist at AK and AWP. It's easy as well for Flit.
Outside seems to be the target of choice once again. They have got down Secret consistently, and it's been mainly Zori that's the main catalyst of their demise. This time he's playing a different angle. He's behind the garage. He's typically been perched up on the CT side of Heaven. Dotto has to deplete the smoke just to keep himself alive. One kill. Not going to be good enough, and Face Crack spins around for a second. Saw off angle. You would never expect a third player to be there that quickly. As he rotates down from ramp, it's down to a 2-on-2. It's in a real frenzy of a round Molotov onto the ramp. It's going to burn Hoodie to a degree, but the bomb's also been dropped.
Yeah, very chaotic round thus far. They didn't smoke wall off the Secret, so I thought they caught a better timing on those lower halls, kind of caught them off guard to break through, but all in all, it still winds up a 2 versus 2. Bomb, as you said, is down on the site. There is still a amount of time here. There is a smoke they can use to try to cover their cross out of Decon into the site, and indeed they will be able to capture the bomb and plant inside the smoke. Zori not going to pop a shot, waiting to see if someone's going to cross towards the silo. He doesn't spot it, so he knows that whoever planted is still either in the smoke or has gone towards Decon. That's a little bit of extra information to work this retake with. They do have a couple of kits. They have a smoke they can put to try to do a smoke diffuse. That's about it.
They're going to smoke off Decon. They're putting all their eggs in this basket, and it is the correct decision. Flashbang out with an AWP. If they do go for the defuse in the smoke, this could be very tentative. Z-Power's going to have to pull out the P250. Needs to land a shot here. Oh, actually connects it, but it's not on the diffuser. And Zori can hold on for dear life.
I'd love to see a replay of that. It almost looked like he was going to line up a 2-for-1 there and then stop the defuse and get the other frag as a bonus, but he just happened to catch the non-diffuser. That is incredibly fortunate for HAVU there. Very tense round. But indeed, it does go the way of HAVU. Here it is right here. Look at that lineup. Oh!
A matter of millimeters from clutching it and putting HAVU into an economic downturn. As it stands, though, it's ForZe that can feel the pinch of the finances. Hoodie, though, will break the deadlock. Z-Power momentarily silenced. Jerry still retains control, though, of the saved AWP from the previous round's shenanigans. And Zori's gone back to his tried and tested angle of Heaven. He's been so powerful in this spot as well. They can't really deal with him.
Obviously not much to put forth here if you're ForZe. Jerry picking up the AWP. Looking to see if he can't catch a CT. Showing a little bit too much out here, but instead he just gets tagged by Zori's op. Still alive to keep fighting, but definitely softened up and now finished off by Dotto. Window stays split there a little bit, but the rifle is still out here from Hoodie and Dotto, and that is going to be another round going the way of the fence. Now taking the lead, 6-5. Several rounds in a row at this point, 4 to be exact. First lead of the game.
Absolutely, from 5-2 deficit to 6-5 in the lead. ForZe, of course, could be disappointed with how the trajectory of this half has been going, but overall, 5 rounds running their T half, not too shabby. Still all to play for. Both teams have a purchase, and just making sure that ForZe can't go for any kind of vent dive. They're going to use some of the utility, the Z-Power. Not going to miss that chance.
No, it's finally the duel that he's been looking for all half long, you feel like. Ever since he had this AWP, he's been trying to find that pick outside. He hasn't quite done it, but there he finally does, and that could be the opening ForZe need to get something going. They will slow it down after the initial pick. Dotto collects it up and is now just kind of playing towards the spawn, just watching for any type of outside cross. Z-Power here just trying to see if anyone else is going to give him another opportunity. Smoke wall perhaps being lined up here for the T side, and indeed it shall.
FaceCrack already in an angle, or maybe catch Slowy, or if someone pushes outside of main off guard. Slowy's going to use that smoke as his sanctuary. Trading places, FaceCrack. Going to be checking all of these angles, doing his due diligence, but still doesn't see him because Slowy's moved into garage. Have they just passed each other again? They did. Slowy's now gone down into secret.
I thought FaceCrack saw him for sure. Maybe not. Maybe he thinks that he put them in the big garage instead, and now Dotto just gets a freebie. Now they're going to try to push into upper, but hold the phone, actually. We saw one entry, but Saul able to defend, but it's just these quick skirmishes, and ForZe are on top for now.
Here comes Slowy again. He's already clutched one situation. Can he go one better? Dotto perforating the wall, connects the headshot with the AWP. Grenade damage not going to be forthcoming. Wrong side of the hut. HP certainly favoring the terrorist, but now that Slowy gets the upper hand onto Almaze, that's quickly shifted around. Flit, last terrorist alive, up against Slowy, and his 17 HP is going to be enough. We said he didn't have the greatest of performances earlier today. Well, he's definitely making amends now.
Decides to go pick up the AWP, obviously, and now he'll start to defuse, but plenty of time to take care of that. So another round goes the way of HAVU. That's now 5 in a row here on their CT side after obviously a very chaotic start to the game where it was back and forth the first 5 rounds. You're starting to see HAVU really get control of this game. Oh, man. I guess he didn't notice.
Is that the classic res? But surely he was close enough.
No, yeah, that 4-3 shouldn't be involved in that. It all also just be like something we see differently than him and Spectate. I'm not sure, but either way. Big round from HAVU. Very chaotic round, that one, though. Very back and forth as much as this half has been. Kind of a perfect illustration of how the whole half has played out, is rounds like that, where it's just kind of hard to get a grasp on because things are happening so fast. You know, you're quickly getting to like these 2v2s, 3v3s, but HAVU have been winning the bulk of them lately.
They tried to bait Flit out into the open, but turns out that he was too much of the predator. They weren't anticipating his aggression. Hoodie, in the meanwhile, though, again, has just been chugging along with kills here and there. They've been very impactful for Ags. Been doing a good job on the A site. Dotto would have heard Squeaky opening, but here comes Saw. This time it's up to him to go for the rotation. Finds himself Flit. Meanwhile, Almaze is being tagged up from multiple angles. FaceCrack has got a journey outside, and he's going to reap the rewards of a kill. Back and forth again. Hoodie up against FaceCrack. That grenade is going to do some damage, chips him away to 76. If he goes for this peek, he could be a dead man, but FaceCrack comes out ahead this time. One clutch that will not go the way of the Finns.
Man, I feel like I'm watching a tennis match at this point rather than Counter-Strike. The back and forth affair of these frags has just been unreal these last couple of rounds, but this time FaceCrack's the one that come on top, finally ends a bit of a drought, puts another point on the board for ForZe. It's now 6-7. Just a couple of rounds left to go here in this half, and even though ForZe won the round, their money is still so low because they're having to rebuy everyone, and now they have 3 SMGs in play. And they're going to pick up the pace with this smoke wall. But again, it's just FaceCrack doing these little sneak plays towards me. He's done this time and time again. He's had limited success with it, to be honest. But this time, it seems like it's going to be fruitful.
Hoodie back against the wall. Has been culled alongside the rest of the CTs. It's down to Slowy's rotation again. But this time, it's not going to be a surprise. Post-plant. 19 HP to his name additionally. Wants to save the AWP. At least you assume that's what he's aiming for. They have a ton of confidence at how well he's playing, but no, he's going to decide to go up on the roof. Yeah, we're seeing the same plays as you said. these Mach 10 pushes. Jerry's done it with AKs. And it's a really cool sweep around as well because they nade the door, smoke and flash. It forces the attention of the two A players to focus on Squeaky and Hut, and then he can get around the back and hope he can catch them unaware.
Yeah, also you always got to think that if you see that smoke wall outside, that there's going to be a player on the opposite side of it going towards, you know, the stairs. So that also is another little mind game that goes into it. But once Spacecraft gets that kill, they know that they can just explode. That's why ForZe is so dangerous. Even though they play like this wild, chaotic style, that can sometimes be like just really, you know, dependent upon aggressive plays. When they do get that initial kill, they're so good at like just committing for the follow-up. And that's when it gets dangerous because you're down a man, you're having a lot of angles to be responsible for at once, and it can just get very overwhelming. And that's what they have been able to finally construct these last couple rounds to tie this game right back up at 7 apiece. Last round of the half now in play. HAVU with very little to work with here. It's been a tough economic game all the way through, Vince, and now it's caught up to HAVU in the final round.
Yeah, which was really why I want to give Zori even more credit because he hasn't had the AWP that many times as a result of the economy, but still top fragging, still had a lot of impact with it. Saw gets picked off for free, and Jerry just pieces out of there.
Dotto playing outside as he normally does, trying to catch face crack red-handed. Gonna wait a little bit longer, hoping he's gonna get more out of it, but it does not pay off in the end. And this round is gonna go the way of ForZe almost flawlessly unless Zori has something to say about it. He's good for one, gets the AWP, but not even gonna have a chance to turn with it. And that's gonna be the half. 8-7 for ForZe, a close one. We'll see how it finishes after the break.
Both teams exchanging haymakers in the center of Nuke, but ForZe, the Russians, slightly in the lead. 8-7 on their CT side, and HAVU have a mountain to climb.
How do they want to open up here on this pistol? We do see some presence towards outside right away. Smoke going out over towards Mini.
Quite as cohesive as the ForZe push altogether as United Force, but they are getting plenty of ground outside and down secret.
Whoa, he just jumps through that smoke at Mini, and Face Crack will certainly be happy with that result.
Oh, there's the flank as well, flit up through from ramp. Meanwhile, Terra's going to try and funnel their way down onto B for the plant. ForZe are okay with allowing this to come into fruition. And I was about to say that Zori is about to be back attacked. Going to get the USP in the back of the head. Slowy in the meanwhile, though, going to try and hold the line with his block. He's got 2 headshots. Crisp play. But smoke onto the door. They don't quite close it on the first time of asking. And it's getting defused in amongst all the ruckus and will be a successful defuse at that. So ForZe will claim the second pistol. And that's a huge tick in the box they were looking for.
Yeah, nice little attempt there from Slowy. Made you believe for a second when he got a couple of those kills, but it was just too overwhelming, too many CTs left. Big kill from FaceCrack at the beginning to pick up that mini push. It really helped things along. And now they do increase their lead just the slightest, but that bomb plant's going to get HAVU into buying right away. 2 SIGs and an AK. Kind of a classic second round buy that you see now after bomb plants. And it's so hard to deal with as a CT style whenever you're kind of investing into a lot of SMGs. But Jerry has this close spot that might not get checked, Vince.
Oh, and he also has a slight gap in the smoke. That's the bomb down first. He's only going to get the 1 kill, but vital information's been gathered to know exactly where the T's are.
Yeah. Also, XE is able to kind of use all the distraction to be able to come in and get another kill, so he keeps it to the man advantage for ForZe. At least the bomb was able to be reclaimed here. There is the 2 rifles still in play for HAVU, so they still do have some outs, especially with this happening here. FaceCrack walking into danger, perhaps, and there it is. Saul getting the D, and now he upgrades to a rifle, 3-on-3, and some big map control to HAVU.
As you mentioned, with the rifles in play, they actually have a superior weaponry now too, a UMP and an MP9. And Hoodie surviving on 19 health. Against the odds, HAVU are making this work. It's not done just yet, though. Still need to get their bomb planted down and navigate their way through both Almeza and Flit.
All going to come down to timing. Almazer's thinking about flanking up Heaven, but Saul gets around just in time to spot it. So that has been shut off. Flit was towards lower here, so this bomb's going to get planted. No problemo, and so you imagine Flit just wants to save the M4 at this point. So HAVU going to work this right back towards a tie. They're going to find round number 8. Money is very low outside the saved M4, though, for Flit. Going to be tough to deal with this now.
It seems like we're going to be getting into that same sort of position as where we started the first half as well. Both teams buying up. Although, to be fair, ForZe in this position, would they force behind the M4? It's not great, economically speaking, for them.
I mean, they certainly made a decision to keep going for it in the first half, so I wouldn't put it past them, to be honest. Especially because Jerry and the Z-Power will actually have something that they can do, at least for upgraded pistols, so we'll have to see. Indeed, we do see a scout come into play, some deagles, so indeed they are going to be going for that. I think that was the biggest kill. When he went down towards window and Saul was able to grab that frag and get the M4, that was kind of the pivotal moment of the round. And now ForZe will have to suffer because of it, but we'll see if this force buy, their gamble, their way back into it can pan out or not.
Yeah, this force buy really doesn't leave much to be desired. You're on HAVU's side of things. Just 1 flashbang. Some kits, of course, but it is so very scarce of any kind of stopping power.
You can see HAVU proceeding into ramp room here. There's no one to stop them from getting through. No boost, no one turnpike, nothing of the sort. So it's going to be a freebie. That Molotov will ensure it, as Hoodie will play off the back of it here. Flash their way into that lower bomb site. There are 2 defenders here. There's going to be Jerry and Flit. And a rotation could be coming very soon. Smoke blocking Jerry's vision. Does hear the footsteps, tries to spam onto it, does not hit the mark.
Real flip of the coin, hasn't paid off for him. Molotov now going to disperse. FaceCrack has the option to push through Decon if he so chooses, but I think they're waiting for that secondary smoke to clear on the double doors as well. Now they can start to move together and try and draw out some of these crossfires. See if they can make the most of a momentary lapse in communication or concentration, but that's not going to be the case. The bulk of ForZe now back away towards the T-spawn. It's only Flit that's seemingly interested in that. He's actually the player that wanted to survive the most. He's got the M4.
Yeah, that is a little bit odd. I don't know if no one's even able to get back over to it either. I mean, that is certainly weird that he wouldn't just fall back with it. Would have given them another basically a chance to rehash this whole round all over again, right? I mean, they don't have the money to buy. They forced there, didn't work. But if he would have stayed that M4, you keep the Scout, keep the upgraded pistols, you get to do a redo. Instead, he gives that M4 up.
Yeah, the plot thickens. In terms of this round, though, of course, they're not going to be buying behind this. They just want to, as he said, basically rinse and repeat. And he has actually gone for some Kevlar and a P250, so his finances aren't looking too sharp. They are hiding behind red container. A player up close and personal would be Jerry, but he's being dinked and finished off by Hoodie. That should open up outside control now.
Could have been a great little play if Z-Power was able to keep their attention with the Scout and if he went unchecked, but no stone unturned here for HAVU. Taking things very cautiously, and they do indeed find that kill on the Jerry. Gives them the quick man advantage. Takes one of the upgraded pistols off the board.
Slowly now pushing on the lobby. Just checking all the angles. They know there's going to be pistols in place still. You don't want to walk into any traps. And face crack. He's going to be trying to get up close and see if he can try and turn this round back in his team's favor. He's hearing the pitter-patter of footsteps. There's the 5-7. He'll be disappointed he didn't get the kill outright. Flitting the meanwhile with one, but that's all he's able to muster together. And Z-Power had his shot. He missed it. This will be HAVU taking the lead. And I believe that would be for the first time.
I think they very briefly had it in the first half, but definitely has been some time. And the bulk of the game seemingly controlled by ForZe.
Oh, yeah. I think it was like 6-5 to them
at
one point.
But nonetheless, HAVU are starting to inch closer. Remember, the winner of this makes it straight to the playoffs. What a story that could be for HAVU. This is a team that this 5 has never landed before, period. And the core of this team is only really landed within Finland. And even at that, they haven't been that successful, usually getting beat out by like SJ Gaming and things of that nature. So for them to take a step towards a top 4 at DreamHack Open would be going a long way. Haven't qualified for much else outside of this, so this would be taking huge advantage of this opportunity.
Slowey in the interview said that they would be pretty happy with just making it throughout the groups.
Yeah.
And they are very close to making that a reality here. Their first international LAN together, or LAN together at all, to be fair. They're still a fairly new unit together.
Yeah, we're starting to see Slowey, the guy that we're used to seeing online, really step up this game, up to 15 kills. Hoodie continues his good form from the previous map we saw against Crazy on Dust 2. I think he dropped like 30-something kills that game. Doing really well here. Zori as well coming in. So basically the 3 guys that normally do the heavy lifting for HAVU are all in form on this map, and that's a great sign for the Finns. But back to the full buy is going to be ForZe, a chance to try to tie this thing right back up. It has been a very scrappy game, so I certainly wouldn't put it past them at this point. But Zori trying to go for something aggressive, and Z-Power was more than ready for it. That's going to help ForZe get closer to that tie situation.
Well, it's those kind of plays that when roles were reversed, ForZe were very happy to go for, these squeaky pushes. And Z-Power is going to fend off the second adversary, which is Slowey. The talisman has fallen. Jerry could be in for more if he just stays in position and plays a bit patiently. Soars up on top of the main ceiling.
It's going to have to take some type of Herculean effort for HAVU to get back into this round. Doesn't like it's going to happen there, as Saw has also been taken off the board by Jerry. Now it's just Dotto and Hoodie left. Now it's just faded to Hoodie. It's one of those rounds where they tried to go for a play early and they just took way too many casualties in the process, and they were always going to be on the back foot. They could never find the big play they needed to get back in, and so ForZe will jump up to 10-10. They may do so flawlessly. Not even a single point of health has been taken from ForZe in this round just yet, with Hoodie the only man left. Does get a nice little headshot there on the Jerry. Fair enough. That was a good frag. That's just not going to be enough, is it? Z-Power with a big round, a full house of frags with his teammate there. So it is all square again.
Just what they were hoping for too, a fairly clear-cut, clean round. Sure, they lost the one player at the end, but up until that point, it was pretty much went smooth sailing. SG has traded hands additionally. FaceCrack has one. Always a welcome sight for the CTs. Now the pressure is on the Finns.
Yeah, both economies are not that great if we're 100% honest, so this round could be huge on determining who could get that little bit of an extra lead going into the tail end of the half. Give that little bit of cushion. This time HAVU taking things a little bit more slowly, volleying up close to make sure no one's hiding beside the red crate. Could see the smoke wall outside come any moment now. Z-Power's AWP is going to be in position, but the smokes are probably going to thwart his vision. In the meantime, Jerry has a different up-close angle, so this could get very nasty if they don't check it. They already cleared red box with the Molotov, but will they check this side?
Throwing out these flashbangs too to allow Jerry an opportunity, if he gets pushed, to be against blind T's forcing their way on him. He is going to be on the receiving end of the flashbang this time. They seem to know it. Those two flashes telegraphed his position a little bit too much. A couple of flashbangs outside on Garage. Z-Power seen nothing cross. HAVU haven't necessarily got downstairs though. They're staying outside.
Yeah. Their smoke wall, I think, was a little bit closer to Mini. And I think that ForZe are kind of aware of it. That's why they've been so keen on keeping eyes on Big Garage. And Z-Power is going to basically get the confirmation with that frag. And Flit also now pitching in, shutting the bomb down at ramp.
Here comes Dotto, 20 seconds left though. Got to get a move on, headshot delivered. Had no idea that Z-Power was still there. They're going to make a move onto the A site. They now have control of the bomb. FaceCrack. It's going to be the first port of call through on main. Flipping the meanwhile through on the hut side. Actually, it's going to be Squeaky instead. So the player's advantage is in favor of ForZe here. They do have a bit of utility as well, a flashbang and a kit. But Hoodie's going to try and take the initiative. He's going to be pushing in. Nearly gets rewarded, does indeed get rewarded, but his teammate's gone down. He's got no bullets left, only 13 HP remaining. And although an AWP shot did whiz past his face, it's FaceCrack that will claim the final frag and get ForZe in the lead once more.
Yeah, great little kill there from Dotto to get the bomb into the site. And they did have their chance at perhaps still getting the round despite the fact that they were down a man in the retake, but does not happen. ForZe will push their lead to 12-10, but this bomb plant is going to help out the economy massively for HAVU. It really gives them a chance to actually get a purchase into this round. You see the MAC-10s coming out, some utility, some armor. The one AK on Saul. But if they were to lose this, they would be in saving territory. That op shot just barely misses.
Damage done with the Molotov. Information also attained. Molotov going to be planted down from Flit, the backside of the site. The force needs to come to him. Dotto tagged up heavily. Just goes ruthless aggression with the MAC-10. And Hoodie will get the reward. Jerry, in the meanwhile, looking to erode some of these defenses now on the post plant, on the retake. Hoodie with a MAC-10 kill again. ForZe letting this one slip away. It's ebbing and flowing, but in the wrong direction. Sorry, Molotov into the smoke. Going to allow the CTs now push through on the double doors. Almeza has the right idea, but are they about to be overwhelmed and swept away? The MAC-10 again is going to be so detrimental to the health bars of ForZe. Z-Power going to try and hold on, but it's not going to be good enough. HAVU right back in again with such a lackluster buy.
Absolutely, man. And it's crazy to think that, you know, most of these teams have not been able to streak together more than 3 rounds in a row. It's been a very back and forth game. I mean, we saw it obviously illustrated in the first 5 or 6 rounds of the match where it was 1 for 1, but it really has continued to be a bit of a slugfest here. And now we're all tied back up again, 11 apiece. Again, a lot on the line here. Winner of the playoffs. Loser still has that second chance tomorrow in the best of 3s. So there are no total losers in this game, but obviously one has an easier path than the other.
Sure, I mean, the team that wins can sit back and watch all the games, jot some notes down. Definitely a huge advantage. You say for HAVU, though, again, with them being relatively new to LAN experiences, especially internationally, maybe playing some extra games wouldn't be the worst thing. Get more reps in for the team.
Sure. I also have to say I'm impressed just because of that very concept. The fact that they've been able to play so well against like more seasoned players, despite the fact they don't have as much LAN experience, has really been fun to watch. But can they go all the way? That's going to be the big question. Z-Power trying to get in their face with the AWP. Up close here at the ramp. Not going to find it, but then fades back towards the headshot box. Smoke blocking his vision, though. So we have some bullets exchanged, but no real damage dealt. Zori takes a little bit, but not that much. This could be a problem, though. Face crack on the top of the hut with the shotgun always could be devastating to have that kind of weapon there.
It's really tailor-made for those kind of angles on top of hut through Squeaky. You push up close against it, you're just going to get obliterated. We saw what it could do in the ramp on the boost. I think it was Slowy that pulled off a triple there. Jerry, in the meanwhile, though, going to be using that smoke. Here we go. XM going to be called upon. Just the one kill. Wasn't quite as clean as Face Crack would have liked. Smoke deployed, can now vent dive.
Indeed, beats up with his teammates. Bomb already that direction as well, so it will be coming in. Flit, only man around to help defend, but he's got only a P250 to his name, and now the utility is blocking his vision, allowing that bomb to get secured. Z-Power is really the only person who could pose a threat in a situation like this, and I think he's already decided to just say the AWP. As I say that, though, they start gathering up together here, but again, the utility is really holding them off for just far too long, and now they will indeed tuck tail and bail out. So HAVU will take the lead right back 12-11. The scrappy game continues. That trade through Squeaky Door, allowing the vent dive is what decided things here. Defense do take that one step ahead.
Face Crack so close to being the determining factor with that XM. If you got 2 or 3 kills from that position, it pretty much would have been the round done.
Right. Definitely just a case of efficient trading from HAVU, really. Just battling their way into the lower bomb site. Good utility on the ramp to really stop anyone from ForZe being able to put a stop to that bomb plant. So we do have it at 12-11. Couple of AKs and AWP in play for ForZe. The other two, upgraded pistol and MP9.
This is a make or break round for ForZe. They lose this. Gonna feel like HAVU within touching distance of the finish line. Right idea from Z-Power, just wrong positioning with a crosshair. So close again. Nothing connects though. They do have multiple players down here though, and more joining them shortly on the CTs. They've rotated ever so fast. This time Z-Power is gonna land a shot. Almeza perched on the ramp, checking into control room. Back and forth trade. Slowy gonna try and take over in the round, but he is the last man alive once again. Has already got 2 kills, gonna need to double up. At least has the bomb under his control. And can dart back up towards A, which should be a free plant. Both the CTs are still downstairs.
Yeah, he is gonna get that bomb plant, but he also could get flanked from heaven and still has to worry about Vince, Hut, everything else. So this 1v2 is gonna be so hard to manage. He has so many things to worry about at once.
He's trying to play the off angle of above the hut. It's not necessarily the angle you're expecting in this sort of position.
Oh, no.
He didn't expect both through together. So the avenging frag does come into fruition.
It was a nice thought, but as you noted, just thinking that the other would be coming a different direction. He also just wanted to escape and reposition as quickly as he could to try to make it harder for the other CT to find him, but just could not get away. And so now we're tied up again. I feel like we've been in this situation so many times. It's so close to the finish line. Both teams still neck and neck. Both teams still onto the full buy as well.
Well, HAVU, they had more than enough funds to go for an AWP, but they've elected to go for full rifles. Suggests we could be in for a fast round. Flashes being deployed in ramp. Oh, the spin around for the second headshot is Sublime. It's not going to stop them getting down ramp, but he did a lot of damage. Blockading, absorbing it. Looking to erode the oncoming tease. Jerry going to get the drop onto Hoodie. Does he get peeked again? From 2 separate angles, his days were always numbered. So we're going to go for the plant, take chunks of damage through the decon door, as does Saw in the meanwhile. And now Z-Power can move into position, and he pounces onto Saw, leaving Zori 1-on-2. Molotov'd out, has the bomb, The face crack knows exactly what's coming up. He's anticipating the rotation back to A and will fend him off. ForZe take the lead again.
Yeah, they just were able to stay one step ahead pretty much that entire round, starting with that 2K from Flit, finally stopping an even trade from their opponent. Also just battled their way out through lower properly. There was a brief moment where it was a 2 versus 2, but again, ForZe typically were just well out in front. Now look at the money here for HAVU. They're buying what they can into this round. It's just smack 10s and 1 AK, which means they're going to try to do a little bit of a fast explode on upper. They want to get those SMGs in those CT spaces, but obviously the counter utility is really bogging them down. So they will just have to wait, and they do want to re-aggress though on upper at some point. You have to imagine they want these MAC 10s to have their best chance at having impact.
It's certainly doable in the likes of ramp as well, but all it takes is a couple of well-placed nades and your health bars have just vanished. So they are going to be trying to at least get some smokes outside. They've got Slowy out there on red container with one of the MAC 10s.
Just sending him down there. They just want the CTs to respect the fact that outside's a threat, try to lighten up the defense and maybe a little bit towards the ramp room, but Z-Power still standing tall here, does find one. He's got Flick as well, up close on the boxes.
Z-Power's out of there, doesn't want to stay around and find out what happens next. Face crack in the meanwhile, going for a flank. And he's going to be joined by Almeza. Z-Power falls to the hands of Slowy with a MAC 10, and there's his second. Over-peaking his face crack, he gets punished. The bomb's still, however, in an awkward position. Almeza is going to make the most of this. Op shot goes past his head. He knows where Slowy is. All he has to do is stay in position. He's actually got a teammate flanking around, and Slowy misses. He misses. Oh, Almeza just dropped to his death. If Slowy had pulled off that clutch, Almeza would have got a backhand from his teammates. He just fell from the top of the boxes and cratered in a 2v1.
I guess he thought it was like WWE for a second there, trying to come off the turnbuckles and see if he couldn't body slam the guy into submission, but winds up losing his own life in the process. Luckily, his teammate was able to handle things on his own. That is the worst kind of RKO out of nowhere, though.
But the one that you do to yourself.
Yeah.
When you just faceplant on a concrete wall.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, Dotto outside, undeterred by these last rounds going against them. They're going to try and come back with ruthless aggression, and it's worked out well so far. Zori's down very low, but they have the player advantage with Molotov. Not ideal, they wanted to cordon off Heaven.
Yeah, still are going to get the plant, though, and they still do have the man advantage, despite the fact that Zori is quite low on HP. Flit trying to come through the flank on Hunt, does spot one, but is unable to deliver the blow.
Almeza playing with his food potentially, joined by Flit, who's coming through on the hut. Actually squeaky, he's decided to change up his angles. There's a good crossfire, has been established, and a hell of a one-tap alongside a flashbang from Saw. And now Flit's gone from retaking to exit fragging. His modes have changed, and HAVU's aggression has also changed speed, yielding them a 13th round.
Taking a page out of ForZe's book there, just entering that upper bomb site from multiple angles very rapidly. Catching the CTs a bit off guard there, it seems like, and so now they will make it 13-14. Money is not really there either for ForZe. It's kind of the crazy thing, so HAVU have a really great opportunity to tie up this game. Might even just be the full save. Aside from the M4 that Flit carried over, Almeza does invest into a Deagle, that's about it.
We haven't had an overtime today, but we've been mighty close twice. Is this the time? It's looking like it could be setting up for just that. Flit going to try and make his own future, his own destiny with this M4, pushing up through ramp. Oh, Almeza, though, that Eagle is deadly. Re-peeking him. Not necessarily the greatest of ideas. Face crack in the meanwhile is actually USP Saw. Outside. Still lead by a player, but they're not able to get their hands on any of those fallen AKs or weapons.
Yeah, Flit still has that armor and M4 though, and they have the man advantage, and that Deagle is still a very dangerous weapon in the hands of Almeza. He's already found one head, and now Flit on the flank here is going to catch Hoodie, who was checking a different angle. That's actually an AK that could possibly get recovered. There's no team actually in place, and Flit actually decides just to give up that ground, but still such a massive advantage, and now they might get to map point off the back of this. Very little to work with, and it still might get them the job done.
Yeah, smart play by Flitz. He knows they've got the advantage. What's the point in over-exaggerating your advantage and throwing it away? This allows Jerry to now make a move outside. He does have the AK-47.
That's big.
30 seconds left as well, Dust. They've got to get a move on.
Yeah, Bomb's still over here in possession of Dotto. Slowy is able to get into heaven. That's going to allow Dotto to perhaps be able to slip in through Mini, but the USPs, it's death by 1,000 paper cuts here from ForZe. And they're at map point. HAVU so close, yet now so far.
And the economic turmoil has turned around rapidly against the Finns now. They're going to have a MAC-10 and a Tech-9 with some AK-47s.
It's looking quite grim at this point here. ForZe might be joining their CIS brethren here very soon in the playoffs on Sunday. They keep this up.
Slowy not living up to his name with 2 kills. Charging through. No delay, no slowing down. The bloodlust has descended.
Overtime looking real nice right now, Vince. I mean, the money is just so much in disarray here for ForZe now. They may be able to carry over these 2 weapons, sure. But HAVU have done excellent work this round. That's 1 gun off the board already. Now it's just Flit. If you say this M4 has enough money to, have this gun and be able to drop 1 gun himself, no. Okay, yes. I was about to say, thinking about Ninja, and that would have been incredible, but that wasn't going to happen, was it? So no gun carried over. No money for the CT side really to speak of. Again, Flit can drop a little bit, but it's still going to be pretty slim pickings. Just amazing entry work at Mini from Slowy. Showing you some of that star power he's so well known for in all their online play. The 25 kills. Hoodie again at a 30 bomb. That's twice now he's done this today.
Impressive work. See the importance of not saving either of those 2 guns. Down to 257s, not much utility across the board.
Dotto's down here so fast. I don't even know if the CTs are going to pick up on this. So you can play spoiler a bunch of different ways, whether it's sneaking up through ramp, getting behind them, all kinds of different methods he could impose.
Boosting up our ForZe. Mollies, smokes. Only 2 flashes remain with 1 minute and a quarter remaining on the clock. HAVU going to switch up their aggression towards ramp as Dotto can pincer them in. He's got a lot of information for his teammates in vent.
Definitely can cut off that portion of the rotate just by himself. Now he just has to wait for the rest of his team to be able to get down ramp. But can they? There is a bit of a crossfire. Perhaps it's going to happen here with Almazer up close. Will they check it? Flitz here as well for distraction.
Oh, there's 3 plays here actually because the Orcs now join them and they're flanking at the same time. It's the killing field of the vending machines. That could be the final passage of play in this best of 1. The Finns have fought valiantly until the end, but it could just be a bridge too far. Dotto's aggression through lower is the last beacon of hope, and it has been dulled and extinguished. ForZe win, but just about 16-14. It was so close.
Oh, indeed it was. HAVU definitely had their chances to play spoiler, but just not quite good enough. In the end, we saw that ForZe looked to pick their battle at ramp and just took it and were victorious. And so they will make it 16-14. So ForZe will be joining Avangard as our guaranteed playoff teams. That means HAVU going to have to play a little bit extra tomorrow to try to see if they can't fight their way in for that goal of being top 4 at least here in Rotterdam.
I mean, HAVU, they'll be disappointed with not able to get across the finish line. They are competitors at the end of the day, but I honestly feel like they can hold their heads high. They had a really great showing today.
Yeah, I mean, overall, Hoodie, 60 kills across 2 maps is pretty great stuff, but that's enough from us. We're going to pass it over to our lovely analyst, Tess, to close out the broadcast.
No, we're going to pass it back to you guys. No, I'm definitely joking. I'm so excited, actually, by that match. And yes, okay, ForZe won, but we have now seen a star born in the form of Hoodie, and whoever's going to end up facing HAVU in that Group B deciders match tomorrow is going to have a very tough time on their hands. HAVU have definitely made a statement here today, Blair.
Yeah, they have indeed, and Hoodie has been a revelation for me personally. 60 kills in 2 maps on your first LAN, I think, this entire year, if I'm not mistaken, is definitely nothing to really scoff at. They've been really impressive, but then again, this map was probably the messiest game we've seen so far today. It got very ugly at points.
It did. It was very scrappy indeed. But one thing I want to point out is HAVU was playing ForZe's game. They said, you know what? We see your aggression. We're going to one-up you. We'll bust out the 5 Mac 10s. We'll bust out the 4 Mac 10s. So it was actually admirable to watch from HAVU's side of things. It certainly wasn't what we were expecting from their side.
Yeah, and I think that's a good sign for them, right? They're willing to try something a little bit crazy, and if they're going to face off against crazy, might as well go full out crazy yourself, right? And I think that almost worked out for them, but then again, we saw them lose to almost like a full eco, where I think there were 2 kills to the USP, 2 kills to the Deagle for ForZe, and it looked like at one point that HAVU were going to be running away with this, but unfortunately for them, they kind of fell short there, but they should be feeling still pretty happy.
Yeah, I like the mimicry though. There was a round in that second half where they lost a fight outside to ForZe, and they went, yeah, okay, well, let's try it again and just see if we can one-up you. And then they did. Yeah. I was so impressed by how much they adapted.
Exactly, and it's just sticking to your game plan, sticking to exactly what you prepped coming into this. And we spoke about it in the pre-show, is they've got to have something prepared if they're going to bust out that nuke versus ForZe. And they absolutely did. It was just a little bit too short. But, man, the force buys coming out of ForZe just back and forth. In that first half, it went up to 4-4. Each team just going back and forth, slugging each other. It was fantastic to watch.
And also even for ForZe, they won both the pistol rounds on Nuke, and it came down to 16-14. And it was actually the boys over from HAVU who won their force buy. So they're a team who was showing signs which I never expected to see from these guys.
Now, Valère, I know you're probably quite excited about this, because if ForZe win, you know what that means.
More Jerry.
More Jerry!
Okay.
Hello,
Yeah.
how are you doing, Jerry? You all right?
Yeah, we won that. That's good.
Yeah.
That's good. But it was a really tough game.
Were you
really.
expecting it to be so tough, Jerry?
Yeah, because we are not in our best shape, as I said before. So I expected that game was gonna be hard because how we're playing Nuke a lot, like it's their main map, like one of the main maps. So I thought it's gonna be hard, and they had a really unexpected game style we didn't prepare for. So that's why it was hard.
Jerry, I just got to ask you, in one of the later rounds in that second half, when Almazur cratered out onto the ramp, what was his what was he saying? Was he like, oh no, or was he just straight to the point, laser focused?
He just said, I'm dead.
that works. Okay,
yeah.
quick question would be: did it feel a little bit like playing against another CIS team on their T side, because they were just pushing him with Mac 10s? Did that catch you by surprise?
Yeah, but not like we played against this team. But they had, as I said before, really unexpected game style. So they didn't watch outside, but either way they push hot, and it's kind of strange, you know. You didn't expect that. Even if you wait. I called a lot of times, like, you guys, we should wait for till 1 minute and didn't die, but it never worked because they were really unexpected on their city side. I don't know, maybe it was because our bad communication is possible as well, but I think because they're playing like not default things.
All right.
Nuke.
And going to tomorrow, I mean, you obviously have a day off. First, congratulations, you made it to the semifinals. But
thank you.
What exactly are you going to be trying to fix in the one day you have here?
Communication and aim, I think, because we haven't played a lot. We had a vacation, and now we had like 25 or 30 hours in game.
Ooh.
So we need to play in green FPL. We all got this. So we're gonna play FPL, and we're gonna try to fix our communication. We will watch demo, I think, from Nuke, and think like, why did we lose the second round on city side? Because it was 4 versus 3. I killed one outside, and Xipower got 1 kill outside, and still we lost the round. And they just had 1 AK. This is like not good.
Now, just looking at Group A, the teams that left, because obviously Avangard have gone through to the semi-finals like you, so you won't necessarily face them unless you both get through to the finals. We could see a Moscow rematch, which is very exciting indeed. So it could be Hard Legion, it could be Besiktas, or it could be Heroic. And to be honest, my hypothetical coins would be on Heroic. How would you feel about facing them in a semi-final?
Whatever. If we're in semi-final, we have to face. We should face everyone. We don't care. We just have to prepare. Just have to play our game, and that's all. Like, nothing more to say.
Oh. Well, thank you so much, Jerry. I don't know if there's a cameraman with you, Jerry, but one of the things I noticed when you're doing an interview, it's like you're at sea. I don't know if you're standing on a boat.
Oh yeah, I'm not. Yeah, I like to move. I can stand on one place. Yeah, I have this.
I just appreciate the camera moving with you. Thank you so much. Congratulations, Spasiba, and we will see you on Sunday.
Thank you.
Well. Again, always a pleasure chatting to Jerry, but right now we've got to highlight some of the best plays from day one's action here at the DreamHack Open in Rotterdam. So let's take a look at what made the cut. Now, number 5, ladies and gentlemen, is from HAVU versus Crazy.
Yes, this is HAVU versus Crazy, and it's none other than Slowy. We've been talking about Hoodie, we've been talking about Dodo all day long, but this 3K with that op coming out on that B hold from Slowy, this was a very pivotal round coming out for them side, and very solid shot.
Number 4.
We have Juliana here, probably the only tiny little shining light they had in the particular matchup. A nice 3K hole here, and I think that did net that one round of the 2 that they didn't manage to get at the end of the day.
It definitely did, and I mean, these were some clean kills coming out of Giuliano's side. And coming in at highlight number 3, we've got HAVU versus Crazy, and we've been speaking about this man all day. It is Hoodie on that Dust 2. He gets 4 beautiful kills on this Dust 2, and these kills were a little bit more spread out, and these last 2 kills on this long A really secured the round for them.
Staven here in number 2.
Staven, I mean, the star of that particular team, right? And he has really looked sharp indeed. A nice ace coming out from him. Again, the Krieg a little overpowered right now, but you know what? An ace is an ace. I'm not going to take it away from him.
And finally, at number... See, you got an ace. There's 5 kills to go through, guys. I didn't pace that very well. Number 1!
And here is highlight number 1. This was an amazing ace coming out of Dodo on that Dust 2. We spoke about that synergy with Dodo and Hoodie, and this is exactly where it was with that UMP. 5 beautiful kills to end out this Dust 2.
Indeed, it was. And I just want to point out, like, of the 5 plays we had, we actually had 3 of them from HAVU. Just quite surprising, to be honest.
You know, they had some stellar plays. I mean, I know we mentioned on this nuke it was so scrappy, but being able to come out on top of those scrappy rounds, being able to come back on Dust 2 when you're at such a deficit, it's absolutely commendable.
Yeah, I think they do want to need to fix a couple of small little things. I feel like, especially some of the anti-ecos were very rough indeed, right? I mean, they could have had that in the bag if they hadn't lost to just like a couple of pistol rounds, sorry, a couple of anti-ecos, which they should have had in the bag. They should have had those protocols right. And Jerry did mention they do like playing nuke quite a bit. That's one of the more often played maps, and if that's the case, they should have these protocols in place, how to counter force buys and whatnot. So a little bit of homework to do, but they're still in the running right now.
Well, we will see ForZe and Avangard back on Sunday, while they'll be playing in the semi-finals, and our other 6 teams will be back tomorrow to fight it out in their elimination and decider matches. Now it's almost time for us to go, but before we do, I need to say thank you to our fabulous sponsors. They are Corsair, Monster Energy, Esports Management, Omen by HP, and Windows 10. Thank you so much to all of you guys for supporting us. We really appreciate it. And thanks to you guys watching, and you guys out there, Rotterdam, you've been fabulous. Thank you so much for joining us on the day 1. Yes!
Yes!
Thank you very much.
I love it.
I can't wait to hear that noise even louder tomorrow. I want to know which teams you're supporting. We're going to test you out tomorrow. You've just teased me, and I absolutely love it. We are going to be back here with the broadcast, the pre-show at 9:30 a.m. CET, so that's local time here in the Netherlands. You don't want to miss it. Tell your friends. We'll see you tomorrow. Thank you.